Welcome to Cravon's Garage, Part 3 on Being a Man. In Paul's day, the Jewish culture had a rite of passage. Even so, Paul realized that manhood did not necessarily accompany the rite. When I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. 1 Corinthians 13:11. A simple declaration does not make a man. A boy becomes a man by his personal development, not by someone's declaration. A male, be he a child or an adult, becomes a man by attaining to higher levels of character, such as responsibility and integrity. Someone once said, "We need not worry so much about what man descends from, it's what he descends to. That shames the whole human race." Males can descend to beasthood, or they can ascend to manhood. Think and believe like a man. With the development and accessibility of personal computers, a new vocabulary is developing. One phrase is garbage in, garbage out. It's an old phrase. What is programmed into a computer is what comes out. Most billing errors that we attribute to our computer era were actually programmer error, an error of human being that fed the information to the computer to start with, not in the calculations of the computer. The same principle applies to mankind. Garbage in, garbage out. A man is what he thinks. The wise man of Proverbs realized this and wrote a warning to this effect. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he. Proverbs 23:7. Because of this, man must use caution in his choice of mental stimulants. Since what we think on determines what we become. There are some things that should never be a part of our thinking. There are some mental stimulants that come our way over which we have no control. These negative stimulants may cause an unclean thought to enter our minds, but we should turn away from unclean thinking immediately. We cannot stop the birds from flying over our heads, but we can stop them from building a nest in our hair. In my case, I don't have any hair. Other mental stimulants come our way because of choices we make. We choose to avoid the very appearance of evil. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. So that we may be good and not evil. A man will avoid pornographic material, whether it be hardcore, softcore, or just a little bit questionable. He will guard his thinking. For in so doing, he will guard his being. David knew the danger of watching a wicked thing. I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. Psalms 101:3. This includes books, magazines, television, video, peep shows, and any other medium that would be a negative mental stimulant. Things that reach us in ways other than the eye gate. This is through the rest of the five senses. Also need to be screened as means of guarding our thinking and being. Paul wrote, "Finally, brothers, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things of good report. If there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." Philippians 4:8. Isaac Watts wrote a poem that expresses the value of the thinking and of the mind. Were I so tall to reach the pole, or grasp the ocean with my span, I must be measured by my soul. The mind, the standard of the man. The mind's the standard of the man. The very foundation of a male being a man is for him to fear God. The wise writer of Proverbs penned these words. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Ecclesiastes 12:13. Fearing God and obeying God is the whole duty of man. There can be no fear of God without a corresponding obedience of God's command. Edwin Lewis Cole, in Courageous, deals with an interesting perspective. That which is visible is created by that which is invisible. For example, loving is invisible, but giving is visible. Honor is invisible, but obedience is visible. By the same pattern of the thinking, fear of God is invisible. By the same pattern of thinking, fear of God is invisible. But obedience is God. But obedience is the visible outgrowth of it. Therefore, the fear of God is the foundation of a man. In fact, it is the whole duty of a man. Two similar verses express the same principles. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. Psalms 111:10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Proverbs 1:7. It is a necessary characteristic of a man that he fear the Lord. This is the beginning of the road to a successful manhood. Consider Job. He was perfect and upright, and one that feared God and hated evil. Job 1:1. Because he feared God and hated evil, God used the word perfect to describe him. His wealth did not earn him this description from deity. The size or quality of his family did not draw the Almighty's eye of approval. Instead, it was his fear of the Lord and his hatred of evil that drew God's condemnation to him. These attributes will draw God's attention today. He is still looking for men who fear him and hate evil. Continue tomorrow for part 4. That was it. Have a good